Welcome back, welcome to the space. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you stopping by the channel. Did a video not too long ago about the Mavic Air 2. Unbox, let's do it. Much better design. Here's our little dreamboat, the controller. Fantastic drone, under $1,000. What a weapon to have in your bag of goodies, just your camera bag, just throw it in, super light, super compact. Everything about it I really love. But I wanted to take it to that next level. I wanted to compare it to the Mavic 2 Pro because here's the hype. Mavic Air 2 or Mavic 2 Pro? Which one do I get? Mavic 2 Pro is twice the cost of the Mavic Air 2. All these names are just like, we're going side by side. Which one's better for you? There are so many good things packed into this little bundle of joy. But there are so many amazing features that some people don't really realize or are considering when they're trying to compare it to a $1,600 drone versus a $799 drone. Okay, we're gonna just dive into it. I kind of want to break this video down by the aircraft itself, then we're gonna go through the cameras, and then we're gonna get into the gimbal, the stabilization, the sensors. First, we're gonna talk about the aircraft. Yes, the Mavic Air 2 is smaller, but honestly, it's not that much smaller. The difference in weight is the Mavic 2 Pro weighs 907 grams. The Mavic Air 2 weighs 570 grams. If you're planning on carrying this thing around for a long day pack, those extra grams, almost double the weight, can add up. To me, it's not a big deal. Very similar design. I mean, almost identical. Weight, not a huge factor with this whole comparison, in my opinion. I think it's a good opinion though. Very similar design with the propellers. Actually identical design, just a smaller propeller, just a smaller footprint here. So when it comes to the flight duration, this is where Mavic Air 2 kind of takes that, gets a little extra time in the air, 34 minutes versus the suggested 31 minutes from the Mavic 2 Pro. Now, those numbers all depend on so many different things. The wind speed, if you have a lot of wind, those propellers are working extra hard to keep that camera stable, the drone stable, you're wearing out your battery. If you're constantly recording, you're wearing out your battery. If you're constantly doing certain things, so anytime you're getting an extra 3 minutes of battery life, that's huge. Okay, that's the difference between catching your drone in a lake versus your drone at the bottom of the lake. Just saying. So as far as the internal, external storage, both share the exact same specs for that huge amount of space. Internal storage is at 8 gigabytes, which is awesome to have. For both of these, there's been times where I've forgotten my external SD card, switch it to the internal, and it allows me to at least fly for a little while, a couple batteries worth to get 8 gigabytes, some stills, some nice 4K video. This is what I really wanted to talk about in this video. This is kind of the meat of this video. Okay, so when it comes down to the two cameras, 10-bit color depth versus the Mavic Air 2 having the 8-bit color depth, 1-inch sensor versus the half-inch sensor, you're getting a much better ISO performance out of the Mavic 2 Pro than you are the Mavic Air 2. You're getting 28 and 40 millimeter variable aperture in the Mavic 2 Pro versus a fixed 24 millimeter aperture in the Mavic Air 2. 4K at 24 to 30 frames per second, 4K at 24 to 60 frames per second. Half-inch sensor, full inch sensor. For me, a drone is pretty much useless without a good camera. The reason I'm carrying a drone around is to capture some cinematic video. You can capture some amazing photos. We're gonna start with photos on both of these cameras. Both can shoot JPEG photos and RAW photos. Fantastic. Love being able to shoot RAW because it gives me the flexibility to edit them in more dynamic range, capturing more dynamic range in post-production. So I can bring back a lot of different colors, I can play around with it. So here's where it gets a little deceiving. All the advertising, all the hype is that this thing is packing a better camera, you get 4K, 60 frames per second, 48 megapixels versus the 20 megapixels versus the 4K at 30 frames per second. The Mavic 2 Pro has the 1-inch sensor versus the Mavic Air 2 having the 1/2-inch sensor. It makes a huge difference, and there is a case to be made about having a larger sensor. Because the Mavic 2 Pro has the larger sensor, it is able to record in 10-bit versus 8-bit in the Mavic Air 2, meaning that the Mavic 2 Pro camera can see 4 times more dynamic range and 4 times more color level. That's huge. So that's where it comes down to why I will pick the Mavic 2 Pro every single time if I'm going for video or photo over the Mavic Air 2. The 1-inch sensor will beat the 1/2-inch sensor every single time. And I think that's where you really have to ask yourself, how good of a picture do I really want? What am I shooting? What am I trying to shoot for? Am I trying to shoot for a commercial? Am I using this drone for a product shoot or for a brand? Don't get me wrong, this packs a lot of heat, but I gotta be strong with the beast, man. All right, the beast drone. So I keep doing that. Just someone called me out for saying, hey, you guys, not everyone's a guy. She's right. Gotta tell myself that. It's natural. I don't know. What's up, everybody? The Mavic 2 Pro comes with more sensors. Not many more. One here and one on the other side. So if you're doing the pan, the sweeping pan like this, you're about to hit a tree, done. Not with the Mavic 2 Pro. Mavic 2 Pro is using the ActiveTrack 2.0. DJI has done a phenomenal job with the ActiveTrack 3.0. It's an upgraded version of obstacle avoidance and subject tracking. You're just getting finer detail. One of the cool features of the new Mavic Air 2 from a safety standpoint is the ADS-B, and so it'll send a signal right to your controller while you're in the air saying there's nearby traffic, heads up, helicopter, airplane, get out of the way. That being said, having those side sensors is gonna be much more accurate than not having those, especially when you're doing a pan motion. You're gonna get more accuracy out of the Mavic 2 Pro when you're trying to capture that type of shot. Both the gimbals on these drones are fantastic. They do a great job of stabilizing the camera. I think it's pretty much a tie when it comes to the 3-axis gimbals that both of these drones have. One's black, one's silver. Well, I love black. And that's what's gonna sway your decision on picking one of these two drones. My work here is finished. Go get the Mavic Air 2. Now I wanna talk about the two controllers. When I got my Mavic 2 Pro, I wanted to get the smart controller with it, mainly because I was sick of my battery just on my phone dying. And there were times when I wanted to be able to look up something on my phone. I sometimes keep a shot list on my phone, so switching back and forth on my phone in my notes app and then trying to go to the DJI app. It was just nice to be able to have the screen right on the smart controller for my Mavic 2 Pro. You're pretty bulky here. What I want to show you is you have the smart controller, but then you have the Mavic Air 2 controller. Almost the same size. To me, is absolutely ridiculous. With the screen, the controller is bigger than the smart controller. And honestly, when I was flying both of these simultaneously in the same area, in the woods, in South Dakota, Black Hills, I was getting better signal with the Mavic 2 Pro and the smart controller than I was with Mavic Air 2 and its controller with my cell phone. I hope this comparison video helped you decide which drone is better for you. Mavic Air 2, solid drone, can't go wrong with it. But if you want the better picture, definitely go with the Mavic 2 Pro. A lot of detail, a lot of information coming at you, but hopefully this is kind of a one-stop, get the information you need, pick between the two, and you're good to go. Drop a comment down below, let me know which one you pick. Appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Be sure to hit that like button if you like the video. Subscribe, helps us grow as a community. And that's it. That's all I got. See you next time.